Like that was a team environment. It was a team mentality, and we needed every inch of that in order to be in the game. And in the game we were. But you had to just call upon whatever equaled team and whatever equaled spirit, and the accumulation of both of those I thought was an A+. I respect how they handled tonight.
How do you describe what you saw out of Shake?
You know, like you coach a game and you have gut feelings of who's doing well. I'm always mindful of fouls, and I go on probably gut feel more than I do anything. And to look down after the game and see he had 39 points, surprised me. I didn't realize it was that volume. You knew he was having a great game. That's why I played him almost 40 minutes. But to have that gut feel, sort of equal what I'm looking at on a stat sheet, it's quite a performance against a NBA champion caliber type team. And so all over the place, it's a heck of a game for him.
I know we've asked a lot about Shake lately, but do you have any other anecdotes about stuff like behind the scenes that had him? I mean, because these last 3 games without Bam, these are probably the 3 best games.
Well, you come back. I come back from All-Star break. I put myself in a very private setting for about 3 or 4 days, and you lay all your paperwork and stuff on the table, and you just spread out for about 72 hours and just like figure out what's life look like post All-Star break and the run home. And you sit down and you speak to every single player and explain very clearly, this is your role. And my discussion with Shake is, you're not playing. You are not in the rotation. I'm going with Alec, I'm going with Jay Rich and Ben Simmons, and you have to stay ready. And this is your role, just so that we're nice and clear. And I did it with everybody. And for him to hear that, and then, you learn, life changes, things happen, and are you ready? And he clearly is. And it's a credit to Tyler Lashbrook, who is his development coach, deserves a lot of credit for keeping him on track. He did his G League duties. He comes in, he sits on a bench and swings a towel. Now in March, he's the starting point guard on a pretty good team and just had 39 points on national TV against a candidate to win an NBA championship. And so pick any of that. It's all true, and it's a hell of a story.
Coach, how does that point lead in the third quarter and then LA into the quarter?
They stood us up. They got into us like we played on our back heels. I thought we had a hard time trying to find the rim. It was really our only blemish, that third period, and 24 points is given our other 3 periods just wasn't enough to sort of cover their onslaught. I give our guys credit how we responded. Like we didn't roll over, and I thought we had 3 excellent periods. I thought we rebounded the ball well. We're all going to look at a stat sheet and see the difference in free throw attempts, and it's significant. It's probably the game. But in that period that you're speaking about, like we just got stood up. I give them credit. And, we got to play a little bit lower. We got to play a little bit more downhill and expose possibly some fouls versus that type of clip of pressure.
If you had one,
like that, is it one of those things like going back at it? You think you might have ruled in the piece a little longer?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I like Alec's scoring ability. Like Alec gets buckets. That's what he does. And I think that we were hunting for some ways to find some hoops, and I think Alec does that. That's why he is here. I don't feel that, Keith. I hear your question.
If you had one of your starts or 2, the outcome likely different, does that enter your mind at all?
Not even for a second. It really doesn't. I just am happy. I'm proud of the way that this group competed. We're going to be without Ben for a while. When we get Joe back, we're not quite sure, but I doubt we'll see him on this road trip. And to take this group, and as I've said to them, like if you want to quantify what's the bottom line of the trip, for me it's like making sure that everything and anything that equals team, anything and everything that equals that type of like collective toughness, physicality, mental toughness especially, that's what interests me while we're out here on the road. And I think that's something that's deliverable. You can bring that forward as you absorb our guys back and it's very, sort of driven toward what makes us better in the playoffs. And I think that sort of holistic feeling, that holistic type of approach, I believe is going to serve us well.
With that being said, what was your initial thoughts when you saw Josh laying on the floor, on the court, and now he's in concussion protocol?
You know what, Keith? You've lived in the same city that I have. We've been doing stuff for 7 years, and you just move on. You move on. And you look down the bench and you're like, who else can come in? And boom, next man up, next man up. And it's the way that it should be. As long as nobody tells me there's season-ending things, like I'm quite used to dealing with this type of stuff. And I want to make sure the guys look back at me and understand there is a confidence that I have in the team, and I'm with them, and we're trying to extract whatever we can together out of the environment that we have, and move the program forward. And so Jay Rich will be fine. He just, he got hit in the nose. We'll learn more about it. And so you just brought in Mike Scott, and I thought he was great. You moved Tobias over at the 3. Shake is 39. Like things like that are why you coach 14 guys.
Coach, Glenn shot 40% from deep with the Warriors.
What's that?
Glenn shot 40% from deep with Golden State, and so far with you guys go for 10. Do you feel like maybe it's pressing a little bit, kind of pressure?
I assume so. Like, he's good people. He's putting in the time. He's trying to figure out life in a new team. It's hard. I don't think people understand, maybe you do, how hard it is to go from playing a lot of minutes on a rebuilding team, which I coached, for 4 years doing the same type of thing. Somebody's getting a lot of shots, somebody's getting a lot of minutes. And all of a sudden, you move cities, you move different sides of the country, and you come into quite an established team with Tobias and Ben and Joel and Al, and you go down the food chain a little bit. And that takes time. And I know that he's good enough people, and certainly a talent, that water seeks its level. It'll all balance out, and we will see, I think, Glenn for what he truly is very soon.
How difficult will it be to find time for Shake now? How difficult will it be to find time for Shake now in your lineup?
For 39 reasons, it should be pretty easy.